This video is sponsored by Trendy for you. Check link in the description to get a voucher code. Get it now.
Terima kasih sudah klik video ini. Jangan lupa guys, klik tombol subscribe karena subscribe itu gratis. Dengan subscribe kamu support channel ini terus untuk upload hampir setiap hari. Ingat, subscribe itu gratis, gak ada ruginya kamu klik tombol subscribe guys. Selamat menonton, enjoy.
Malaysia's top 5 haunted places. Highland Towers, Bukit Antara Bangsa. A tragic event imprinted in the memory of all Malaysians. On 11th December 1993, Block 1 of the 3-block apartment collapsed due to a landslide and the heavy downpour of the day prior. Ever since that fateful day, Highland Towers has become famous for being a haunted place. The voices of the dead can be heard at night, and ghostly figures are said to have appeared in the shambling, dilapidated ruins. There is even a story about a taxi driver who picked up a lady passenger in the middle of the night who asked to be dropped off at Highland Towers. She left the bag in the car, and the poor taxi driver found it to be full of blood when he opened it. Bukit Tunku, Kuala Lumpur. Formerly known as Canning Hills, the shattered roads of Bukit Tunku invite a certain eerie feeling even in broad daylight, as the trees all but block out the warmth of the sun. Despite it being one of the more elite residential areas in KL, the place is littered with abandoned mansions, and some are said to have dark secrets. In the first floor bedroom of a British colonial mansion in the area, a woman is said to have committed suicide. There have been sightings, and many claim that her spirit still haunts the house to this day. The most well-known story talks about two youth who embarked on a high-speed motorcycle race around the curvy roads of Bukit Tunku. One of the youth crashed at a dark stretch of the road, which was actually hiding a very sharp corner. Since then, there have been claims about sightings of a young man riding a motorcycle at high speed who mysteriously vanishes in the dark. Karak Highway, built in the 1970s to link KL and Karak, a town in Pahang. It officially opened to traffic in 1977. The name Karak Highway now, however, inspires tales of Malaysia's most haunted highway, replete with a history of bloody accidents. There have been many sightings of a yellow driverless Volkswagen Beetle that appears out of nowhere in front of drivers after being overtaken, perhaps the most iconic ghost story of the Karak Highway. Pudu Prison, Kuala Lumpur. Built by the British in phases between 1891 and 1895 on the site of a former Chinese burial ground, Pudu was used by the Japanese during World War II to incarcerate and execute Allied POWs. The prison later also housed Malaysia's most notorious criminals as well as those sentenced to death, staining the walls with a history of violence like few other places in Malaysia. Those who have been inside for a tour claim they all experience an eerie, disturbing vibe. There have been sightings of a strange thin Indian man walking in the prison hallways, while some claim to hear screams of someone crying from the room which hangings took place. After 101 years as a prison, Pudu Prison was formally closed in 1996, though it continued to be used until 2009 as a day-holding facility for prisoners attending court hearings. It's now being redeveloped as a premium condominium, which really just sounds like a fresh batch of ghost stories waiting to begin. Victoria Institution, Kuala Lumpur. One of the most older schools in Malaysia, Victoria Institution Boys School was established in 1893. The grounds were used as a Japanese base during the occupation of Malaya, and many British soldiers and locals are said to have been brutally tortured to death in the basement and several buildings on campus. There have been many cases of spirits possessing students. They start to behave strangely, sometimes violently, harming teachers and students alike, only to wake up a few hours later remembering nothing. Some cases would require restraining the students, but the bruises caused from the restraints would suddenly disappear when the students snapped out of it. It is also said that apparitions are common in the day as well as night, which we're sure makes for tons of fun hazing challenges for the clubs.